to pray. There's no angels where I go, only pieces that are broken, scattered dreams across the floor. I'm home.
Alrighty, hello everybody, this is Kirsho here. Now then, whenever we last left off, Deku and, well, Katsuki, they had just went to the beach and discovered their own private training grounds. Since a lot of people don't really come here anymore, so they can basically just come here to be alone. Their parents, they know that those two will look after each other and, well, they really just hope that people won't try and stop them, or they at least don't encounter a villain. They would sometimes escort them down to the beach and see what it looks like, but other than that, they would have found it to be relatively very close by, so they would have left it alone. Now, after that, let's begin. It has been a couple weeks since we last, well, seen these two. At least I want to say 8, so about 2 months, to roughly 9 weeks. Or 8 to 9 weeks. Now, with that being said, Deku, he is running through a little course they've created out of the remaining rubble. Now, as Deku's running through this course, he can hear explosions behind him, as he would see something out of the corner of his eye. Now, as soon as he sees it, he would begin dodging to his left, then proceeding to dodge to his right, as this blur basically zooms past him. Now, Katsuki, she's being a bit more smart with her explosions. She's letting out rapid high burst at, well, small frequencies. Or basically, she's letting out strong enough burst to keep her quiet, but whenever she needs to, she will actually attack. Basically, rapidly amping up her quirk. Now, Deku and her are actually fighting. Them somewhat learning a bit more of a boxing style. These two actually fighting properly. Deku throwing a punch and trying to throw a kick, as she would have been able to jump upwards with her quirk and try and throw a kick directly at his head. The two going back and forth, until eventually they would be at a standstill once again. Now, Deku would turn on his flame, as it is actually blue. Her watching as Deku would stab his hand into the ground and immediately just grab a handful of dirt, or well, sand, then proceeding to burn it, as he would throw it outwards. He's somewhat been working on a specialized attack, but it can only work in this type of environments. Either way, it does seem to be very creative, as he basically sends glass shards flying at her. She would immediately bring her hands downwards as she begins to rapidly let off explosions, throwing up the sand and actually creating somewhat of a earthquake. Deku being able to slightly feel this, it being enough to throw him off his game. Him actually stumbling backwards, sand flying in his direction. Now, as that happens, Deku, he would be bum rushed, her running forward. As soon as that happens, Deku would panic. She's gonna beat him and he's gonna lose. Usually their fights end with a standstill, and she's been getting better than him. Shit. As he would just close both of his hands in a fist, turning up his quirk. His entire body would spark and cover with fire, her immediately just jumping backwards, and recovering. She didn't get close enough to get, well, sparked up, so she'll be fine, as she would just throw up her hands, telling him that he wasn't supposed to do that, as Deku would just uncover himself with the fire. Exactly what was I supposed to do? Besides, you're improving a lot. I've noticed that. You really think so? Yes, actually. It's quite interesting, though. It feels like a while ago we were just messing around here. Deku looking at the remaining trash. Thinking that this will be interesting then, as they continue their training. Now, for the next couple weeks, Deku would begin to somewhat think about a newer method of training. Yes, he can only do, well, high intense heat, and he usually just has to cover himself in ice packs afterwards. But he's been thinking that he should turn it up a bit more, as he would do something that would probably be or look very, very crazy. He would put on some hot water on the stove, letting it boil to the point where it actually does feel a bit warmer than it should, as he would pour it over his arm, somewhat actually flinching at this. The water is very, very hot, but it is not hot enough to cause burn scars. However, this would have caught Inko's attention, to which she would tell Deku that that is not a good idea. And if you're going to train your quirk like that, then, well, you need to have a lot of water. Her is someone just getting annoyed, saying that he can possibly do that type of training at the beach, since, well, the ocean's right there. Now, Deku tries to think of a way for, well, Katsuki to train hers. Her quirk will be, well, about the same. So it's all about increasing body temperature, right? That should work relatively well then. Deku coming with an idea. As the next day, he would head over to her house and knock on her door. Her opening it saying that, are they going to go train today? Deku saying that yes, they are. But he's trying to find a good way for her to train. So he's come up with a bit of a funny challenge that you might actually be interested in. She would get somewhat annoyed looking at him, as Deku would just say that this is different. Here, Now, Deku would just hold up some money, saying that, here, we can go to the store real quick and buy something, or at least see if they have it in any markets. As they would leave, Inko actually coming with them, since she does actually need to go grocery shopping. The boy goes through a lot of things very fast sometimes, but that's not bad. He is a growing boy. As Mitsuki would have given Inko a couple things that she might need for the day, or at least just a couple ingredients she is missing. And she would say that she'll pay her back. Now, this is whenever they would leave. Them basically going on a shopping trip, looking around and actually seeing certain things. As eventually they would find the item that they are looking for. Deku seeing it and actually getting a bit more, well, shocked by it. He didn't think it would be this hot. As Deku has just found ghost pepper salsa, or well, a ghost pepper. Anything that is remotely made of this pepper is really hard to eat or even, well, consume. Since if you basically eat a pepper, you'll start coughing almost immediately. Now, they would get a couple of these. Katsuki not really being able to understand the difference. It just looks like some stupid pepper to her, or well, jalapeno. What's the big deal? As they would arrive at the beach. Now, Deku would basically have taken off his shirt and ran out into the water. Her somewhat laughing at him and calling him an idiot. Saying that, what is he doing? As she would watch him turn on his quirk. the water is somewhat beginning to heat up around Deku. Now, as that happens, she would just think, is she supposed to go in there too? No, wait. Her turning to look at the bags. She would walk over and bend down, grabbing one of these peppers and just saying, "Hey, nerd, what am I supposed to do with this?" "Eat it." "How is this going to help me for training?" "Just eat it and find out." Fine. As she would bite into it, and immediately understand. This is the hottest thing she's ever tasted, and well, it's getting a lot hotter. She didn't think Deku was being serious, so she held up about 3 ghost peppers in her hand, biting into all of them. Now, they had their seeds in them too, so they were a lot worse. Now, she would begin somewhat coughing and actually somewhat trying to puke, as her body would heat up and she began to sweat a lot. Her being able to feel her explosions somewhat getting more powerful, and or at least feeling bigger. So she's sweating more and more. I get it now. As she's basically having a coughing fit. Her training being to at least try and help her body get accustomed to reaching this level of intensity easier. However, a couple of hours would pass by, or at least let's say an hour has passed by. Deku would walk out of the water, his skin somewhat red, or at least sunburned, being a darker shade of red. She would somewhat laugh at him, but she wouldn't really be able to talk or really say anything, since anytime she opens her mouth, it feels very hot. Deku basically doing one thing. He would just hold up his hand saying that he'll be right back, as he would run off. Her getting a bit annoyed. A lot of the stuff they still have in these bags, they need to take home. Or will at least take back to their moms. He's really gonna leave me here to carry all this crap? That damn asshole. As a couple minutes later, Deku would come back. With milk. And some water. He would have handed this carton off to Katsuki and some water. Her immediately chugging it. Deku having to actually tell her to slow down. That's not going to end well. As she just keeps chugging and chugging and chugging. Eventually, she would realize the consequences. And she would end up drinking the water instead. Now, these two are both talking. Her asking him exactly what was that supposed to be. That was the most horrible thing I've ever experienced. That was how I think we should start training more. What, you've got to be kidding me. Doing that every day? That's basically torture. Well, I mean, probably yeah, but besides, your training doesn't look as bad as mine. Really. Deku just holding out his arm, igniting it with fire. As she watches the fire turn to a lighter shade of blue, and actually somewhat get deeper. She would watch as Deku somewhat starts wincing in pain, as he would immediately just cut out the flame. Watching as this portion of his arm that was red now looks to be a bit purple, and or a bit more burned. Her just asking what was that. To which Deku would just say that that was a part of his quirk. I don't know how strong my quirk can get, but I can't handle it at the levels I'm currently at. This is gonna get annoying. So, I'm gonna keep doing this every day. Until my body can withstand it. Her, someone just staring at him for a second. Deku's very, very serious at this statement. He's actually somewhat just giving a heroic speech. Her just staring at this for a second. as Deku would look back at her. She would realize she was staring for too long, as she would someone begin to laugh, telling Deku that that sounds good and all, but she's gonna have to pass on this for at least a week. Well, yeah, we don't do it every day. We could do it like once or twice a week. Really. You really are You really are crazy, knucklehead. I mean, not crazy. Just thinking that once in a while, intense training is required. It's not bad, besides, it's what Endeavor told me. Oh, here we go again. What? Endeavor. That guy's creepy. He's a bit more too serious, don't you think? I mean, yeah, but still, he's gotta be. Besides, it's all about All Might now. He's gonna be the best hero. What was it? A couple years back, he just hit his 10th. Endeavor's not gonna pass him. So, Endeavor's not gonna pass by All Might anytime soon, nor in the future. The day that happens is the day you beat me. Alright. The two eventually going home with these groceries. And, well, getting dinner and hanging out afterwards. The two, they've actually been getting more friendly since their earlier days. Now, these two, they're somewhat hanging out and watching TV, as they're thinking about what they should do. Now, as these two are hanging out, this is where they would basically be doing this. They would stay up late and actually just start watching old movies. Them usually arguing about what they're supposed to watch, until they play the old-fashioned game of rock, paper, scissors. Whoever wins will get to pick what they watch. Now, with that being said, I want to say that Bakugo usually having to throw an open palm for his quirk. He seems like a paper guy to me. Now, with that, Deku, he would have picked rock. And lost. Him being suckered into watching a romance movie. It's being very bad, as they'll continue this game. This time, however, they actually do get to watch one of Deku's movies. Horror. Now this is what I'm talking about. Now, eventually, that would pass. The two repeating this process over and over and over again. Until they basically pass out. Now, after that happens, Mitsuki would have woken up early and see these two basically just laying at opposite ends of the couch, asleep. She would shake these two awake, basically telling them that they need to get ready for school. Besides, I'm pretty sure you need to go home and change. Her basically talking to Deku. Deku hopping up and shaking off, well, Deku, he has to, well, get this knot out of his neck. He did not have a pillow. He just put it behind his back. He didn't realize he fell asleep that way. As Deku would go home, get dressed, and actually shower. Not in that particular order. Now, with that being said, this is going to be where I leave this part off of, guys. I do hope you enjoyed the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed the video, and have an amazing day. I will catch you guys in the next part.